Welcome back, Scrappers. Good to see you again. I hope everyone's doing all right with this virus going around. Today I've got, let me swing the camera over that way, if I can. Got these three radiators. That looks like aluminum, and looks like a copper brass. I'll go ahead and experiment with this one first. It's got a little bit different crimping on it. See if I can zoom in there. Camera's on the tripod, so a little bit different crimping. Normally they're kind of crimped over the top, or this is crimped a little different. So see what it takes to pry that out of there and separate it. Of course, everyone knows that clean aluminum is going to bring a bit more than dirty. I have no idea what it's bringing right now. If you guys have sold any lately, go ahead and leave a comment. Leave it in comments what it brought at the yard. Maybe kind of what area you're in, what state. A lot of times what I use is this little, it's a Stanley 100 plus. It's got like a little forked area and a couple little spots. It's bent so it pries in good. Not sure how that'll work on this. Yeah, as I mentioned before, I work at Hobby Lobby in the warehouse doing conveyor maintenance. Yeah, it pries it up pretty good. And from what I understand, in states where they've shut everything down, we've had to shut stores down. I think someone said 36 or 38 stores, something like that. Yeah, I got a little cough, but I always, if you watch my other videos, I always have a little cough. And right here where this thing is, it's kind of hard to get it up under there. If the person wanted to, they could take a Sawzall or something, or maybe even a hammer and knock it off. Let me try that. Yeah, it's not too shabby. Yeah, if I can pick it up, that's jumping out of my hand. Toilet paper around here can be a little hard to find, but it's not impossible. Walmart had some the other day, but Oklahoma doesn't have this virus right now as bad as others. Which what is today, the 21st of March? I haven't been getting any calls since what, last week? Since the bad come out, I think I've had 3 guys. Of course, it took me most of a week to get 1 guy. That's where most of those loads came from on that last video. I'm going to try a rather large screwdriver here. I guess I probably should zoom in a little bit for you guys that are watching this on cell phones. A lot of the time I was having a problem with that, but a lot of it, this little bent Stanley's doing good. But last I checked, it's been a couple days. We had, I think, 44 cases of the virus here in Oklahoma. I think someone said we had 1 death, but I'm not 100% sure on that. I've heard 3 or 4 reports on this anti-malaria drug. One guy said you can take a map of where malaria is common, and then you can take a map of where the coronavirus is hitting a lot of places. You see there's very, very few cases in places where they take the malaria drug. I guess you can get it in a pill or possibly as a shot. And it works good for the prevention or for a cure. It's just the drug hasn't been approved for coronavirus. So I guess if they could do some quick testing, maybe give it to some of these patients that are in bad shape. Of course, just give it to someone in bad shape if they don't make it. It could just be because they were too far gone when they received the treatment. So hopefully this will all be over with soon and things will get back to normal and we can get back to doing our scrapping on a regular basis. I've got a little bit here to tear down, but trying to kind of save it for videos. We don't know how long this virus thing is going to last. As many of you know, I don't do this for a living. It's more of a hobby. Been doing it for a while though. Got out of the small stuff for a few years and did junk cars. I was working nights, so it was really convenient doing cars because sometimes I could run out and pick up a car before I went to work. Next day I could run over the scales. There was 1 month there I was doing the cars. I brought in 2,000 that 1 month. I could have probably kept pushing it and doing it month after month, but I just did it that 1 month, and after that I kind of backed off, didn't advertise quite as often. But several months there I did about 700 a month. A lot of work, kind of. But some of them loads are pretty scary taking in too. I'm not sure how much of that right there you guys saw. Hopefully enough of it. This one is quite a bit different. I'm going to pan back out a little bit there, zoom back out. Got a feeling you guys didn't see a lot of that. But since I do this for a hobby, I'm not at a point where I have to need the money. I'm kind of hoping to save it up for a year or 2 years, and maybe shortly before I get ready to retire, I'll cash in a bunch of it, try to get my tractor paid off, get the house paid off. Whatever needs to be done, that way when I do retire I don't have those bills. And then I'll probably either scrap full time or I'll get me a metal detector and go do some scrapping and some detecting. And basically, go down to one side. I'm going to stand it up and do the end. Well, I guess I could do the end right here laying down where the camera can pick it up. Yeah, back it up a little. It's not too bad to bend that out. I'll try to get all three of these broke down in this one video. It's going to be kind of repetitious, but it shouldn't be too awful bad. Yeah, since I'm not selling scrap, I don't really call the scrapyard that often to find out what prices are bringing. I heard copper took a hit of about $1 a pound. Then another article I saw said went down to $1.40, $1.60. Yeah, that's pretty low for copper. I hate to think what's going on with aluminum and brass. Okay, I'm going to zoom out here. That should be clean, but not necessarily. I got a clip right here. Yeah, magnet sticks on that clip. Let me zoom it out here a little more, or pan up, one or the other. So you see the magnet sticking on that clip. It's always a good idea to run a magnet around and look over all edges. Got a rubber gasket here. Pull that off. So mainly, I'll just get that clip off of there, and that should be clean aluminum. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, I'd like it if you guys left in comments what you're getting for different metals you're selling in your area. This is the other aluminum one. Just to kind of show you the difference, you can see how much darker this one is. I left this one out in the rain the other day because we had a good heavy rain, real good downpours, and trying to get some of that stuff hopefully washed off of there, but didn't work real well. Even on this one, I got 10 there. So the strip here is 10. Other than that, plastic. Originally, when I saw these plastic ends, I was thinking this was going to be a aluminum one, but I'm pretty sure it's copper brass. I've run over it with the angle grinder just. Zoom in on that spot. I think you can see I think there's enough light in there. You can see the orange from the copper and the yellow from the brass. I got the tripod lifted up on 2 legs. Okay. So I'm going to set that aside for a moment. We'll get this other aluminum one done, and then we'll jump on that one. Try not to bore you too much with my rattling. I know sometimes I talk a lot in these things. Another thing is show you what I'm doing here real quick, kind of zoom in on it. Got these two fittings coming out from for the transmission cooler lines. I can see that by looking at them right off, it's brass. Now these nuts that are going on there, I'm not exactly sure. Good size nuts is taking a 1-inch wrench. I remember when aluminum was 40 cents a pound. Dirty aluminum was about 10 cents. So I hate to think what dirty aluminum is bringing now. I'm not sure, you guys will have to put it in comments, but I'm guessing aluminum is probably 25 cents a pound, maybe 20 cents. And you know, a lot of yards are getting full of some stuff, and yeah, those look like brass threads in there on the inside. I don't know if the camera will pick that up. Kind of see the color. So that's brass. But if aluminum is dropped by half, then the dirty aluminum drop down to 5 cents. That wouldn't surprise me. Now those, I'm not sure exactly. They might pull out on the inside, or I may have to put some channel locks or vice grips on them. Okay, we got a washer here. It doesn't feel like it's metal. It feels more like a pretty hard. Might have to hit that with a wire brush and an angle grinder or bench grinder. It kind of looks like aluminum. Not sure if the camera can pick it up right there, the shiny. So they look like aluminum. So I'm going to go ahead and throw those into, and let me check it with the magnet first. Pretty light, so yeah, not sticking. I'm going to throw it in with sheet aluminum. And those just drop right in there because there's a piece in there. It's probably brass. Sometimes those are kind of hard right in this area to get under, to bend up. So try putting a needle nose under there to One thing I found, those scrappers, most of the scrappers I know, and I imagine you guys are the same way, are very resourceful people. You'll find a way to make a buck or to make something work or to fix it. Like when things were slow in the winter, I went out and started buying up some barrels, $5 to $7 a piece, and then I started running them for sale. Cut the top out of them, sell them for burning barrels, trash barrels, for $15 a piece. Some people get 10 a piece. There's a lot of people want to talk you down to 10. I had one guy drove by here and asked what I was getting, and he said he can get them for 5 a piece down in a town called Lindsay. It's about 25 miles from us. I thought, well, that's pretty good because that's what I'm paying for them. I can't get a hold of it with that. I'm going to try the pliers. It's got a couple little tabs folded over that I've been working on here. I don't know if you can see that up on camera or not. See if I can't zoom in on that real quick. Got one of the tabs kind of bent up. Kind of working on the other. I got my ad posted for next month. This one I was originally going to start posting it anyway, but I really wonder with this virus going around if we're going to get any calls or not. Kind of having my doubts. But the weather is improving, so people might be out doing their spring cleaning, getting their gardens ready and stuff. So I'm going to try to do is run into town in the evenings, try to make run through a few areas of town and see if I can find any scrap on the roadside. Okay. Now, grab them needle nose back. to speed up here a little bit. I definitely don't want to make an hour-long video. It takes forever to upload it. They're still working on getting fiber optic out my way. Hopefully I'll have it soon. Even a lot of videos I go to watch on YouTube, they start out and then they kind of cut out and buffer for a minute. I don't know if it's Internet Explorer, or not Internet Explorer, but Google Chrome's web browser slowing it all down, or it was my internet connection. It could be my son-in-law in there playing his video games. Anyway, there's a little coolant radiator inside. Now, right now I can't push that straight out, so I'll see if I can't break that off. If worst comes to worst, I'll get the Sawzall out and make a cut. I'm going to try to grab a hold of it though and just see if I can't bend it and snap it. So one thing, usually try it one way. If that doesn't work, try something else. Yeah, that almost got it broke through, so. It's pretty brittle stuff. I'm not sure if there's a way to separate that. But you can see you got brass here and then you got aluminum. So I'm sure they probably have a price for this. Or if you wanted to, a guy could probably cut the brass off. It might even be something I want to just put out there and run through my melter. But what I would probably try to do, probably cut the brass off and throw it into dirty aluminum or melt it, whatever. Try to get as much of that clean brass out of there as possible. I don't know. It'd be nice if I could put a grate in there that the aluminum would drip through the grate and any brass or metal would hang out on top of it. I might play around with that idea. If you're liking my videos, if you're learning anything from them, please subscribe, hit the like button, share the videos, and hit that notification bell so if you'd like to see more. I try to keep them educational. I know people are wanting to learn, and you know, I may not have the best way, so I mean, watch other videos too, you know, but give you an idea how it can be done, how I do it. You know, but just because it works for me doesn't necessarily mean it's going to work for you. We all have different abilities, different tools. People I watch on YouTube got all kinds of tools. Tire machines, big tractors. Yeah, they got a lot of equipment. Others on YouTube have just kind of basics. Just out of curiosity, let's bring the scale out here. I'll unplug the angle grinder real quick. see what these two aluminum radiators weigh. I guess I'll try to zoom in on the scale first. I don't know if you can see that or not. I'll try to get more on top of it. Kind of stretching my cable here to the limit. Still can't quite see it, can we? Get a little closer. There, now we can see the numbers. Okay. Try to balance these the best I can without putting any downward pressure on them. Got one thumb holding the front edge. 14 point, roughly 5 ounces. 4 ounces, what, a quarter pound? So just over 14 pounds. Not going to get rich on that, that's for sure. I'll set this back aside for now, and we'll see what this copper one weighs when I get it cleaned up. Copper brass. I know that your aluminum copper radiators from air conditioner coils usually run about $1 or just a little less than $1 a pound. These, I don't remember what they were bringing up. It's been a few years since I've even sold any of these. I've got a few to sell, just not in any hurry. Probably wait till 2021 to sell too much of anything after the election. Maybe China will be buying again instead of trying to infect us and kill us off. Wow, that just broke right off of there. I believe that's all tin right there anyway. Yep. So, tin bucket. Just a little plastic piece in there. Okay, let's get these ends knocked off of here, and then I'll try to separate that tin off the other edge. There's probably just a little more cleanup to do on brass copper. I'm not sure if I've ever really seen one before with the plastic. I know I did some searching here a while back on, a year or so ago, on when they quit or went over to aluminum radiators, and some of the research is saying they still make some copper brass. The aluminum was cheap. Aluminum makes a good, well, they use a good heat sink. They use it in a lot of stuff. Let's raise this up. But I think with some antifreeze and some other stuff, plus just water in general, kind of messes up aluminum. So they were kind of problematic. I'm going to have to check this. There's plastic inlet too. I was going to say it looked like it was copper brass. I don't look to get any more calls this month though. It could happen. But I think A lot of people are really starting to get concerned over this virus, since I think there's been one report in the county that I'm in I'm not really scared of this virus or not. Try to be cautious, especially my wife. She had her spleen taken out years ago, so she doesn't really have much of an immune system, and then she's got COPD on top of it, so she's already got breathing problems, breathing issues. So my main thing is I got to be careful not to bring it home to her. And here's a little piece out of the inside of this one. If I can get it through the hole. There we go. Couple of rubber. What it is, I guess the water just goes in one side, come out the other, and it's very thin. So your water going through here is going to come through the inside and outside surface area. And I believe this is brass. I'll hit it real quick. There you go, if you can see that. Yellow brass. I'll put that in my brass bucket. I'm curious what that weighs. Scale is still on here. 11.3 ounces. So a little over half a pound. Brass is what, $1? $1.30, $1.40. Sold any brass lately? Go ahead and give a comment. I've also heard some yards are closing down right now. A lot of them, from what I understand, have nowhere to sell their metal to, because everybody's full. And another thing is they don't know where the stock market's going to be when this is all over with. So I guess out of fears of losing money, that's why they're dropping copper prices. Of course, no one says they have to sell it when things get moving again either. A yard could probably sit on their precious metals if they had the storage area. I would say it would be their tin or shred pile that they really have to keep moving. But then again, where they store their aluminum and copper brass is usually indoors. And warehouse spaces usually got a higher price on it. Okay, let's see if we can pry that apart. Yes, Oklahoma weather. 77 degrees the last day of winter. First day of spring, 48 degrees for a high. That thing had a lot of trash in it. Get that rubber gasket off of there. Now usually when I separate this piece of tin here, it comes up into the two brass ends. Usually your vertical lines or horizontal here are brass, and then your little fins that go in between them, you know, I guess I could say your waterways are brass and the little cooling fins between them are copper. Might be the best way to describe that. But usually just try to get in here somehow and pry this up. And usually you take a row of that copper fin with you. And then what I usually do, I'll just take that copper fin, stick it in the vise, clamp it down good, and then I'll take the propane torch and some needle nose, and as I heat up the solder, I'll just pull the copper gently with the needle nose, and it'll pull it right off that tin. Okay, I'm cutting that tin strap, going around it. I cut pretty easy with just a pair of dikes. Of course, I've used Knipex. $50 for a pair, but if you're going to do this, you might as well have good tools, which I know a lot of people don't have that in their budget. I understand. You've got to start where you can, but when you get to where you can afford it, go ahead and get you some good tools. I'm going to see if I can't make sure that in case there's any welds solder there. That's the nice thing about scrapping, we just tear stuff up. We don't have to usually don't have to put stuff back together. So we can cut and we can bang on it. Man, I'm losing all my weight here, aren't I? It's going to be pretty clean. Okay, I'm going to try it with the pliers, see what we got. Okay, that came out pretty good. Picked up most of the copper fins are there, but it did leave a strip there, so I'll have to clean that up later. Set that one aside. I'm gonna have to give that a couple more whacks. It's sticking out now. Get in here with the screwdriver, pry it up. And that one did the same thing. Left the fins in the center, but not on the edges. Yeah, that one went back there. Didn't go too deep. The way it sounded like it went all the way behind everything onto the floor. Okay, I'll put the scale back over here. And I think I'll just take it off the tripod this time. It might be easier. Maybe. Get it around the handle. Let me just try to zoom in a little. 7.77 pounds. So I don't know if that might be what, maybe $1. Well, the copper down right now, if that's true, that might be running $1 a pound or $1.50 a pound. Hard to say. So I'm not really sure what it's worth, but copper brass, I'd say probably, $1.50 maybe, give or take, $1.25, $1.50 a pound. So $7-8. Well, this video is getting pretty long, folks, so I'm gonna try to close it down. Yeah, I don't know if I just tilted that up quite enough. So everybody stay safe. I don't know what else to say. Keep living the life. I hope everybody is doing okay. Hope your loved ones are doing okay. Can't really give much advice that you don't already know. Don't panic. You know, find toilet paper when and where you can. Be on the search for it. Check on your neighbors. See how they're doing, especially the elderly. They can't get out and, you know, find stuff. This grocery store here in town, my daughter works at the deli there, and she's been off the last few days because of medical issues with her daughter, but she said that they're kind of limiting on how much they even send to the store. So that's part of the reason a lot of the shelves are bare, because their suppliers. At Walmart, they have they got their suppliers to their distribution centers, so they probably have a lot more stock and inventory to last a little longer. But a lot of your little grocery stores in little towns, you know, they get it from another supplier, and if they're being limited, you know, they can only do so much, and so just do the best you can with them. It's not their fault if they don't have a lot in stock. My wife and I ran to the store this morning and picked up some bacon. They didn't have a lot to choose from, but they did have some. They had some meat in the meat department. It wasn't too bad. It wasn't full, but maybe half, got that much. But it's not a total crisis here in Oklahoma yet. Hopefully, you know, it's doing okay where you're at. But I know some areas are getting hit pretty hard, and hopefully this will get turned around really quick. I've heard a couple other stories on vaccines that they're, you know, got real good hopes for. So hopefully something will get going. The one thing about this other medication for malaria is we probably have some in our drugstores and drugstore warehouses here in America. Our military should have some because they, you know, medicate our troops when they send them into these regions. And then these other countries where they have the problems, they should have a good stockpile. I heard the drug was very inexpensive, so pharmaceuticals companies may not really want to pick it up, not much profit involved, but hopefully the government will step in and say, hey, manufacture it and we'll make sure there's a profit margin, you know. So I'll get off here, and like I say, I hope you all will be doing well. Hope you enjoyed the video, and keep living the life, and hope you find lots of scrap. Until then, this Okie Scrapper. See you later. Bye-bye.